Hello, welcome to CLSP Politics. Sean Briscoe speaking. So, as I mentioned on my front page, I have moved to Substack. There's a few reasons, not the least of which I'm a huge Colbert fan, and just watching what the media has been kowtowing to the GOP and hearing plenty of stuff going down on YouTube, I'm kind of concerned that my programming might not be around, especially as we get closer to 26 and certainly as I get closer to 28. Because if you watch my channel, I reference the big orange idiot pretty often, and for good reason. I mean, he is orange and he is an idiot. So I feel like if I want to keep talking about the things that I want to talk about, I need to have a backup, something that's secure. And quite honestly, I work for Democratic political operations. We don't generally have a lot of money, so consultants that choose this line of work generally don't make a lot of money. It's kind of like the NFL. There's like 20 players out there that make huge money. Unfortunately, a couple of them play for the Dallas Cowboys. They ain't worth the penny they're being paid. But this is not a sports YouTube. This is a political YouTube, but you get the analogy. So you got a few of these guys. They make huge money. And good for them. And, a lot of them have been in the game for 30, 40 years. I've been in the game for 28. If I wanted to make six figures and change, I could work for Republicans. They love me, except for the fact that I have a soul and my father would haunt me for the rest of my life, and my mom would probably come after me as well. Not to mention, I would lose all of my friends, and including my girlfriend. So yeah, there's lots of reasons why I don't work for Republicans. um, but mostly it's my soul. I'll just go with that. But that's why I'm going to Substack, because it's something that I control a little bit more. They don't edit me as much, and there's a paywall, so there's a subscribed. It's not as public, put it that way. But I will be posting, as I'd said on my intro video, stuff onto my YouTube as long as they'll still let me. But I'm going to delay it for about a week, which will be really annoying come election cycle. So I recommend going to my Substack when stuff really starts to roll, because if any of you that were with me in 2024, you know that I do a lot of polling, real time polling, uh, information videos, and I try to explain exactly what's going on. Like today, I'm going to do a video on the gerrymandering they want to do in Texas, which I'm going to actually reference a video that I did that I found out, and this is how my channel's actually evolved quite a bit. I I did not know until I was told by my son that his social studies teacher uses my video talking about gerrymandering in his classroom, and he has for the last few years, well, like the last year or two semesters, which is great. I'm all about it. I think gerrymandering's that plus Citizens United are two of the most horrible things that happen to our democracy. I would say 90% of our problems, 90% of the problems that we are currently having right now are from gerrymandering and Citizens United. And keep in mind, this is coming from a guy who gets paid because of Citizens United. So I actually have a dog in that hunt. And honestly, their Citizens United kills races that are like this, when one candidate's got this amount and the other candidate's got that amount. But there's an ROI to the amount of dollars, and Freakonomics did a great report on this. That it's kind of like trying to get to the speed of light. It takes twice as much energy to go up 1%. Once you get up to a certain point, it just levels off where you're dumping, what it took you to get here to get one more percent up takes you that much more money. So Citizens United is technically limited when the races are monetarily pretty even. Um, Gerrymandering, on the other hand, there's a point where it doesn't really matter how much money you have, because the gerrymandering is so profound. And what they're going to do in Texas, and I'm going to do a whole video on that. I'm going to go over gerrymandering, all the different parts, because as I've learned and read, and I'll have articles that I will post, they're doing this stuff pretty. They want to redistrict three congressional seats in Houston and one in Dallas. And you understand, Harris County, and I've talked about this quite a bit on my channel, Harris County has as many registered voters as most states. So they want to go in there and mess with three of the seats, one of which isn't even filled because the governor of Texas won't fill it till November, because he doesn't want another Democrat voting in Congress. That's how Republicans are playing this. And this is one of the reasons why I went to Substack, because I keep saying this stuff. Eventually, somebody important is going to hear that I'm saying this stuff, and then my channel is probably going to go away. As it is, YouTube never monetized me, and I've stopped asking them to. That's why I'm going to Substack, and that's why I have my PayPal, because I do spend a lot of time and work researching this, and I think anyone who does work should get paid. So that's the other reason I'm going to Substack. So if you go to Substack, it's $5 a month. It's the lowest they'll let me put it at, by the way, just so we're all clear on that. I'm like, $2 a month would be fine. Just skin in the game. That's what I'm looking for. But 5 is what they've got. So that's where we're at. I literally tried to put every increment in there, and it's 5. Boop, boop. It just automatically 5. So that's where we're at. But I like Substack. I'll be putting out shorts to advertise my videos on Substack on YouTube, which will be great. And so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. And then, like I said, later on, the videos will post on YouTube. So and believe me, I get it. Now everyone's got $5 a month. There's a lot of people just, stringing it along. I feel you. I hear you. I'm one of you. So I get it. That's why I don't want to. I mean, I've got 4,000 of you that have subscribed to me on YouTube, and I'm not going to abandon you. But if you want to get my videos a little earlier and a little bit more current, plus I will do I will do probably a few live events and some special interviews and stuff, especially when I get on the road. That I think you guys, it'll be worth the bang for $5. It's a cup of coffee a month. It's not too bad. But you got to look at NPR. You got to look at what happened to Colbert. I mean, CBS sold him out because he called them out on a bribe to the president so that they could sell their channel for billions of dollars. They couldn't just wait 3 years. I mean, have a little credibility, CBS. Jesus. Also, Colbert's I've been watching Colbert since The Daily Show. This Week in God was probably one of my favorite skits. If you've never seen it, it's on YouTube. It's hilarious. He's got this button, and it's got these symbols that go by, and it's all these religious things. And then every once in a while, you'll see Starbucks and Target. It's really funny, and I loved it. But Colbert, I think he's the canary in the coal mine on this one. That's why I'm moving. So I hope everyone understands. Like I said, not abandoning anybody. I love you guys. You guys have been insanely supportive over the last year, but I think this is a natural transition. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Take all the feedback you can give me. I really do appreciate all the comments and the donations that have come through PayPal. I know I don't get around to thanking everybody, but just want to say thank you to everyone who's contributed over this last year. It has made a huge, huge difference. It's allowed me to keep my subscriptions and some other things that are outside my normal budget. So it's been very valuable. So I just want to say thank you, and I'm not going away, but and over like really the next week or so, I'm still going to be posting stuff right after it goes up on Substack, just so everyone can see I'm still doing my stuff. That's not going to change. And I've got like 9 interviews lined up over the next 2 weeks. So it's going to be a really, really busy couple weeks. So really looking forward to it. Lots of candidates who've run, candidates who are running. I'm talking to people who are running municipal races in red parts of Texas. And the reason I'm doing that is because they're nonpartisan races, for one. But I also want to show people that live in the blueberries across the country that municipal politics is municipal politics. And yeah, there can be a. And let me tell you, don't give me. I know, I know that there are partisan municipal politics. Only recently, and most of it's in blueberries, where the Republicans will run uh, a a Democratic candidate as a Republican as a Democratic candidate in county and municipal races, so they can get those guys their foot in the door. Uh, and I've seen it in Travis County. I've seen it in Dallas County. That's not a new thing. They've been doing it for decades, and it's only recently that the Democratic Party figured that out, which is kind of hilarious because a lot of us been saying that for a long time. So I'm going to be interviewing them because I think it's important people know that pipes and trash and public safety are universal political issues in this country. That they're not just blueberry issues. Lord knows with the flooding in Texas, we've seen that public safety is, you know, your kids. You might live in a blueberry, but your kids might be camping in the red ocean. So, you know, it's rough. Anyway, just want to say thank you to everybody, and I'm not going anywhere. Talk to you later. Bye bye.